decided to go and install a throttle booster or a throttle controller. I didn't do a tutorial on it just because I kind of was stuck on trying to figure it out myself, but it was actually fairly easy. I have a couple clips I can implement into the video. They're I believe they're vertically recorded though, but I'll put in a couple clips of how to get this plugged in. So I decided to order this because I was ordering something from MikStore anyways, so I wanted to try this out as the throttle lag on this car, especially the non-turbo front wheel drive, which I have, is pretty bad. So I really wanted to get more out of the throttle, so I decided to order this controller, and let me tell you, it was so worth the under $100 that I spent on it. So right now it actually it just unplugged on me, so now I have an engine light, but I'm assuming either I can just drive a little and that engine light will go away, or I may need to unplug the battery terminal and replug it, maybe see if that kind of resets the system a little. But it's just, all it did was unplug because I had it in a bad spot, and now I literally just plugged it back in and everything's working perfectly fine. So alrighty, well, so let's look at this. How can we? So we got a couple different settings on here. This one is nothing active. Then we got, okay, it's the camera's not gonna pick it up, but these numbers are not flickering like this. So we got, this is the first setting. You can adjust it up or down a little bit. I think 1.9 is the max for this first setting, and then jumps up to 2.1, and then I believe you can adjust this up to all the way up to 8, and even 2.9 as well. You just kind of play around with it. And then the max setting is 3.9, which is insanely responsive. And then there's even an eco mode, which is really nice because, especially now that I use this controller, I am burning through gas insanely. So I'm gonna definitely need to use this more often when I'm just cruising and not really needing to go quickly or get off the jump. Alrighty, so I did want to just record a couple more clips of the controller. I'm gonna kind of just do equally the same amount of throttle on each of the modes. So this is just the eco mode. I'm putting a good amount of force down, not too much, maybe like an inch, and you can see clearly that the RPMs don't jump up at all. Like, it is very, very slow. Let's just say that. I mean, it's an eco mode. It's kind of what it's meant to do. Now let's jump to regular. So this is the regular car, putting the same amount of pressure. Still pretty slow. This is the whole reason that I decided to get a throttle controller in the first place, was because you gotta put at least on, like I said, on the non-turbo version, that torque just really isn't there. So it takes a little bit to get off. Now I'm going to put it in the next setting, which is, this is like the first setting. I have it at a 1.8. Already much more responsive, and that was about the same amount of pressure as I did for, I guess, what you would say the regular throttle response would be. And then let's put it to, now that was a 1.8. Now I'm gonna go to a 2.5 in the next setting. That literally, just that was the same exact amount of pressure that I did for all the other ones It's insane how much more responsive the car becomes. I'm gonna wait for this truck to kind of move out the way. Now this is 3.5. The max is 3.9, but I like to cruise. Oh, I guess for the video we'll just put it at the max, right? But so 3.9, same amount of pressure. Jesus, forgot about those bumps. Well, I mean, you can kind of just see how insane, like, it just fully opens up the throttle body as if you're kind of flooring it, but you get to feel it immediately without any lag. And that's me, like, barely pressing down on the pedal. I mean, barely. It's pretty fantastic. I will not lie. However, the 0 to 60 and hasn't improved. It doesn't necessarily, like, it almost, if it makes sense, it feels like it's much quicker. It just feels really quick off the jump, but its pickup is still not there, just because that horsepower that is not, it's not really there. So I'm running a aftermarket intake, the Afe Takeda, with the dry filter now. I had an oiled filter. I swapped it to the dry because the oiled filter was giving off too much of a smell. I don't know. I didn't really like how burny smell it gave off. So I just went with the dry just to kind of make sure everything was all right and I was getting good temps. I mean, I was still getting good temps. The mileage kind of went down a lot. Maybe I was being more aggressive. But all in all, I also have the MidPipe, the CorkSport MidPipe, which I just installed, as well as the AxleBack exhaust from HKS. Makes a super nice sound, and I mean, with this controller, I mean, it just brings it out so much. It's really nice. It's super nice, super responsive. I like to, when I'm trying to drive a little more aggressive, I just put it on the second setting, the 2.5. I think the 3.9 is a little excessive. There's no in between with the max setting. When you're on the max setting, as soon as you click it, it goes. It opens the throttle body completely. But that second setting it's nice. It's a nice middle ground. If I want to, I could tap it a little and still not really get the full like throttle, but like you gotta like really barely tap it. So yeah, definitely highly recommended if you're really trying to, you know, get a much nicer jump out of your car right when you hit the pedal. Alrighty, well, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out. I'll be making maybe some other videos soon. Not really sure of what, but I'll figure something out. I think my next video will be a keyboard video, but I'm gonna put out this video on the throttle controller beforehand.